Well. Once more, it is that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday. It is time for your midweek fantasy fix. Cheers. I'll tell you what, though, I am utterly, and I know I say this every week. I am utterly, completely, and just knackered. There is so little left in the tank as we come to the end of 2025 that I fear for what 2026 may do to my poor withered soul. But we shall continue on, ever on, my friends. One foot in front of the other, Mr. Frodo. You know, I could use a Samwise. Gamgee to carry me up the mountain that is life. But here we are, and instead of that, I am left with Dean. Hi, Dean.
Hi, Jack. I'll be your Samwise.
Ah.
We will take on Mount Doom together.
We shall.
Yes.
In fact, you're a better looking Samwise, I have to say.
Well, I thank you. I have got a bone to pick with you, though.
Oh, what have I done?
Well, when we first met, I was drinking 4 coffees a day. Hardly touched tea. I'm down to two cups of coffee a day. And do you know what I replaced the other 2 with? 12
tea?
pints of tea.
12 pints of tea a day? Well,
I have big flagons of tea now.
Now, yes, and look how your workload is just pumped out of you. How much your productivity has increased with tea.
I dare say
the next
you're
stage of the addiction is that it just keeps you going rather than increases productivity, and you become a withered husk, very much like a ring wraith, a tea wraith.
A tea
Look
wraith.
at this. All comes back to Tolkien in the end.
It does.
I had a. Oh, I don't think Israel agrees with us there. It's just you and I this evening. It's getting to that part of the year where everyone is sick and can't do live streams because they are just dead men walking. But we do have a healthy number of people in chat, which is good. For I have a little thing in mind this evening, and that is we're going to open up some mapping software, and we're going to build a world. And chat is going to help us build said world. And I think
Excellent.
a good time will be had by all. I've got it set up and ready to go. We'll see where it takes us. It could be a complete and utter failure. It could be the best thing this channel's ever done.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Do we have to sprinkle rice down or something to create the coasts? Or
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the latest fad is.
I used to do just jab paper with a pencil, and then I would join the dots up.
That's a nice way of doing it. I saw someone say with the ice coming in, you just find a frozen puddle and that becomes your island or whatever.
Yes, that was making the rounds on over on the social media today. The social media TM. But I really am struggling. Right, well, I suppose I should say hello to some of the folks in chat. We've already seen Israel. We've got AGP here. Hello, sir. Skull is in the house. Hello. There is the mod wife. Everyone fear her power. Yes, we do not, as you discovered, we do not allow coffee in this house. And then we've got Skull's lovely Mrs. Cranberry. Hello. We got Vicky, your lovely Mrs.
Oh, she is?
Jay Cataclysma. I very rarely hear from this man, but I always see this string of emotes whenever he shows up. Welcome, sir. Welcome indeed. And then we've got Oldwood, who is one of the people affected by the plague. Oldwood, do go ahead, and if you need to just sleep, man, use us to sleep too. I know I'm pretty boring. You can do that. Do get well soon, Oldwood. And there's Warlock. Hello, Warlock. Welcome, sir. Welcome indeed. So yeah, we've got the good loyal crew here today, and there he is, never far behind. Jeff from Denkar recently became a channel member, so welcome, Mr. Jeff from Denkar. Whilst I'm on the topic of memberships, I don't want to shill. I'm not trying to get you to spend money on me, although that would be nice. I just want to inform that we have a new tier of membership that was instituted at the members show last week. We got the Law Sworn together. Dungeon Delver was in to advise, and we decided on having a new tier of membership called the Ink Guard. And what the Ink Guard does is it gives you all the previous benefits of being Jackpack and Lawsworn, as well as access to sporadic gaming nights and more organized book club events. I've been having a lot of conversations in the comments today about my thoughts on Clair Obscure and the writing within that. And a lot of that sort of material will be open to Ink Guard channel members in Discord pools, not necessarily in streams, although we could. But we will be having deep conversation around books and stories that we agree to read ahead of time. The first one will likely come just after Christmas. We'll start probably in the new year, and I think what we'll do is we'll start with a short story by Robert Howard. I'm thinking the Frost Giant's Daughter. It's nice and short and sweet. Everyone can get together and they can read that. We can all read that story and then come to the chat with some thoughts and opinions and other stuff. And then perhaps once we've sort of got our feet wet, we'll move on to I don't know, the entirety of the Lord of the Rings. But no, I think it would be a good fun. I do miss doing that sort of book clubby stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, the Ink Guard is on offer now. Shall we begin with this evening's offerings?
Sounds good.
And there he is, Paladin Steve. Welcome, Paladin Steve. And Tamurinus Tom is new to the stream. Hello, sir. This is well, I'll show you what this is now. Let me see if I can figure out how to share this without killing my stream. Here we go. Right. This, ladies and gents, if I can set this up a little bit cleaner, maybe. Can I make this maximized? I could do. Not a particular fan of that. We'll do it this way around. No, that way around. I don't know how to do technology. But this is what we're going to be looking at today, everyone. This is a blank Wonderdraft document. Wonderdraft is a nice little program that I use to make pretty little maps. Or in this case, a sort of semi-large map. I will zoom in for you on this in particular. This is our scale. Each of these hexes, I don't know how well this is going to show up on Restream. My ear trumpet, thank you very much for the $1 Australian. It's very much appreciated, sir. This is the scale of the map. Each hex is 24 miles. 23.9 is the closest I can get to it, so 24 miles, which is the standard Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition distance you can travel in a day. So every hex or so is a day's worth of normal speed traveling. And the idea now is I'll start us off with a little bit of landmass here and there, and then I want to see suggestions in the chat as to where we go, what we place down, and why we're doing it. I'm going to be a little bit of a controlling taskmaster because I don't want us to go and have, here's Candyland. We're not doing Mario. We're doing a fantasy world, and we want to try and ground it and make it believable and real and see what we come up with. How does that sound to you, sir?
That sounds pretty good. So no deserts in like frosty or cold areas then?
I don't know. You can get cold deserts. There is that big desert in Mongolia, isn't there, that's quite cold?
It is, but it's not right up in the Arctic.
No. We are going to attempt to make this into a... I'll tell you what, I need to bring up, because when I'm in this, I can't see the chat, which strikes me as a bit of a bad thing when I need to be able to see the chat for suggestions. So, what we're going to do is start with this tool here, which is raise landmass. I'm going to make the brush size, 64. The roughness I will turn up to 1.25, something like that. And I'm just going to sort of start us off. So I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eyes are closed. Where the mouse stops is over here. So this is where the mouse has stopped. I'm just going to make us a little bit of a squiggle. Now, this doesn't have to be the end result of the landmass. We can make the landmass far, far larger if we want, but I'm starting here. That is our starting point. Quite close to maybe the equator, maybe the south, however you want to decide on how to think about that. And you know what, Dean? I'm going to let you decide what we do next. Do we add more to this, or is there a little cove that you want to plunk a city down on? Or
Well, I saw a suggestion about having a little bay that a harbour could go into.
little
I'm wondering, a little bay or something like, I say little with the scale, but a larger bay to provide a more harboured area, calm area that potentially settlers would have landed on to settle these lands.
over here?
Yeah, let's put it over there, kind of looping across the top, loop down, bit of protection from the seas.
Do that.
Yep, and that opens it up for potentially an archipelago going off into the one direction, or a bigger landmass.
So let's go ahead and get ourselves a little city. Now, I much prefer to keep these sort of maps a little bit simple. So is this a capital city, or is this just a city?
I'd say it's a city.
A city.
A city. Oh, that's a big city.
Well, if you got to remember, that takes up basically a day's worth of area.
Yeah.
At the 24-mile. We could, if we wanted to.
If you make that 50, yeah, that should be perfect. There we go. Fits nicely into a hex. I'm really terrible like this when it comes to maps.
Do we want it on the coast directly, or a little bit off?
A little bit off.
Just so you can see it proper. Yeah, back there?
There we go. Nice and clean.
Nice and clean. You can also get that. That's the layers version, I believe. Can we change the color to something a little bit less blue? Something a little bit more marked. Little more. What's the word I'm looking for, Dean?
Noticeable. Standoutish.
Standouty. Yeah. We'll go with a sort of
a kind of gold, white, gold.
About sort of parchmenty color.
Yeah, there we go. Although that might fade into the background itself.
Yeah, just go bright white. Let's go bright white.
There we go.
Because this needs to be seen by the chat. So let's replace our city. What's this city called, Dean? Since you've founded it, this is your city.
Oh god, Newfoundland.
You are incredibly imaginative, aren't you?
I am.
Let me go here. Labels. This is a city label, and we will make sure there's an outline there. The font can be black or sort of a grayish. And we got new. Oh, I'll change that actually. Oh boy, that's not
a little bit. Yeah,
black. There we go. Newfound, like that.
Yeah, go on.
All one word.
Yes, perfect.
Righto. See, very very large label here, but we will go ahead.
Shrink it down.
And shrink that. I need to remember where these buttons are and what they do. Font size. Here we are. 20. Let's go for 28. Sounds like it would be good. 18. 18. Newfoundland. Yeah, we're going to put it here just in case we want to put some more stuff in there.
Yeah.
So we have started our world with Newfoundland in a bay here. This doesn't have to remain as an island chat. We can do more with it. I will say we've had a super chat through. Mr. Paladin Steve, don't forget to include little fiddly bits around the fjords. I hear you can get awards for that sort of thing. That sounds like a reference I don't understand. Is that a reference I don't understand?
Yes, I believe it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, what about Oldfoundland?
Oldfoundland, yes.
Right. So, a capital sitting on the only large passage of a massive mountain range would be fun, says Tomorenius Tom. And I actually agree with it, because that's Hittites, and the Hittites were pretty metal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the symbols here. I'm going to go into the mountains. I'm going to go to these inked... No, is it the pencil mountains? It's the penciled mountains I quite like. I'm going to take these down to 25. So the way I'm seeing this is if I sort of do that. So there is a sort of mountainous part to where Newfoundland is. So it can only be approached from the ocean, really. And then you got like some narrow spits of land to the north and south. And I am then going to say that, you know what? We will take this particular mountain, we'll move him here. And I think Newfoundland needs a ruling class perhaps they live in the perhaps Newfoundland has like a ruling duke or a duchess of some sort that has a. Let's go back up to 50. Or it doesn't need to be 50 for the castle, does it? So let's say that the ruling duke or duchess has a castle in the mountains, 2 days' ride from the city.
That's really good.
And we can then get through our paths here. Let's have a road. We will make our roads be not that sort of a browny color for the roads. That makes more sense to me. We can go there, like that. There we are. Now we have a road from Newfoundland to the castle. Tom, what's the castle in the mountains called? I'll have to wait for him to decide what that's going to be called. We'll get back to that in a moment. Hello, Cadley. Welcome. Oh, well, have a good day at work, mate. I'll try and name something after you. Oldwood's feeling a jungle to the south. I agree with Oldwood. Anything else that we should add while we're waiting for the ideas to roll in?
Is there a river coming from the mountains down, which is why these places were settled?
Now that is absolutely true. In fact, one thing I really like to do is make sure there's lots and lots of rivers that make sense coming from high ground to the sea.
Absolutely.
Eisenfad. I don't know what that means. You better not be tricking me into writing something rude, sir. But Eisenfad it is. So we will go to our labels. We'll go text. And we will go to... so it's E-I-S-E-N-P fad. And I will actually make this a little bit smaller because it's not a settlement. So we'll go with 12 font size. And
that's
I'm going
lovely.
A little bit of a curve.
Oh.
Look at that.
That's smart.
And yes, I think there does need to be a little bit of fresh water, maybe coming from Eisenfad itself. That's why the castle was placed there. So we can actually get some freshwater rivers here. Look, we might need to mess around with the width. No, that's all right. So we'll start from in the mountains here. Yeah. And actually, we can have it quite closely follow the road and run through the city.
That is perfect.
Very small freshwater river. Question is, what are we calling this river? Iron Path in German. I do like that. Hey, graph paper. Tom seems like my kind of guy. He's taken the German next to Anglo-Saxon name is funny. Very good. So what do we call the river? Any suggestions for the river name? I want to call it Gold Lily, but it doesn't make sense with the theme we've got.
No. Put a volcano on the south. Sorry. A nice rivery name. I mean, if it's a kind of the River Thames.
Paladin says Thames.
St. Lawrence. Oh, St. Lawrence could have been one of the saints who gave religious guidance to the people who landed here.
Lawrence was the seer that guided King Eisen to this land. There you go. We've got lore coming out of this already. So we're going to get the labels here. And this is a river. So we're going to turn this from a black to, we'll call it, we'll make it an 8. I don't know quite how well this one is going to work, but we will try our best. So this is, we'll call it the Saints River.
Lovely.
It fits on the map a little better. Bit of curvature there. In fact, no, you know what? 0. The Saints River can run by the Saints Road. But we shan't also put that on there because it's going to get very, very packed very quickly.
I can see a lot of shrines upon this road. It's almost a pilgrimage to go up to Eisenfad and visit the Duke there.
Dean's watery, windy way, Jack's mighty stream. Someone's not taking it seriously. For a man called Graph Paper Architect, you'd think he'd take graph paper quite seriously. Perhaps he did. No one lives anymore there. Perhaps he did, but nobody lives there anymore because it was nothing more than a fad to begin with. You had me going there, Paladin Steve. I thought this actually is quite good world building. This is where the king used to live, but it is desolate and deserted because of something or other. But oh well. A glorified fort. Yes, very much so. Surly old wolf. Hello, sir. You say Westflow. I do like Westflow. We'll keep that in mind. And the reason I like Westflow is I have a river called Westflow in my own world. So look, we've got quite a lot going on here. We've got Saints River, we've got Newfoundland, we've got Eisenfad. Let's branch out.
There was mention of a jungle to the south, wasn't there?
How far south? What kind of climate is Eisenfad? We should probably decide on that.
Well, kind of middle of the map, so you're talking a very equatorial kind of.
But with a very German-sounding name.
But they did come from far-off lands.
This could be like a Carthaginian-style thing, except the Carthaginians in this world aren't Phoenician; they are Northern.
Ah, yeah.
So we could have. Let's see. Let's go to the land. Where's the paintbrush? Landmass. I need to remember how to use this product. It has been some time. Regions, no. Labels, no. There was a way, that's water, land, to do colors. But I don't remember how. I do not remember how to do colors on this. Dean, help. That's really weird. Ground color brush. There we go. So I'm
glad to have helped.
You're very helpful, Dean. It's a little too green. So let's go for something new. And it's like a not deserty, but kind of warmer and arid. So something like this, maybe. So you've got it's a nice. Maybe, something maybe a bit darker. I couldn't tell you. Oh, someone's playing Halo the Master Chief Collection on Steam, and now I can't click on the button. Maybe something a bit more faded.
So more kind of a savanna kind of feel
sort
to
of
it.
What I'm thinking.
Yeah. So you want a bit of yellow in there to.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Just a little dash of color. So we've got Newfoundland, who were this northern people, this northern tribe that left for whatever reason the north and came and founded Newfoundland, and their ruler Eisen set up Eisenfad along the Saints River and established a Saints Road. Perhaps they'll have some more territory, which we are yet to come up with, but we will see if anyone wants to add anything more. Like it used to have a different name, but what caused it to grow into a de facto capital was by external means. Yes, very much a colony, straight into, which is like Carthage was originally just a colony. The Northern Hemisphere, a temperate zone. Newfoundland is a port fishing town for a castle Eisenfad, indeed. So, jungle. Who was it that wanted a jungle? Was it Oldwood? I don't remember. Oldwood? Oldwood? You right there, Dean?
Yeah, I'm just, I can't see.
Fantasy Americans. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, dear.
No.
Oh, no. Do we... Oh, good, it auto-saved. I'm glad it does that. Do we have...
Yes, Oldwood said he did
it
the
was.
jungle.
Do we have the jungle sort of attached to this, like a continent? Like an African continent? Like, do we continue down this way a bit, perhaps?
Yeah, that's looking good. I'd probably, yeah, that's lovely. Loop it back round up a bit. Across. Yeah, we can have a big lake in the middle of this this area.
You want there's a big lake that I'm trying to think of. Lake Victoria.
Yeah, like Lake Victoria. Yeah.
I don't want to make this too massive. It's about there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put it like this. There's enough room on there to have a happy little savage orc tribe.
Well, we do need something for the Newfoundlanders to come up against.
Yes.
Like, is there a displaced people now? In fact, I think the mountains need to come down into the spine of this landmass a bit.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know if chat thinks this is an okay amount of land, or if, because this is, is it a continent? It's just days apart from each other. Should we sort of take it further down and just expand off the map into the unknown regions, or what do we think? Lizard people, Lake Erie. Hey, I know those two guys. Hey, it's Jeff. Hello, Jeff, spelt with a G. Oh, Jeff from Denkar with 10 Canadian dollar dues. The fallen Titan Mountains with a massive skull-shaped volcano, said to be the remains of the father of Titans, once the capital of the Dwarven Empire, infested with cave holes and dark secrets.
Ooh.
Ooh. Put a pin in that for me, Dean.
I will do.
I think that's a more northern thing. That doesn't strike me as kind of an African style thing. I think that's a... that sounds like a legend that the Newfoundlanders brought with them. Tom says to go bigger mountains and a volcano. You know what, DGH? The mountains aren't obviously to scale, but I like your insistence on the volcano. I think I had them on 25. Yeah. So we're going to bring the mountains down into the interior of this area. I'm going to have a little pass, because I like passes. And we are going to have a volcano. I think it's a volcano in the symbols. I think. I could be dead wrong. That's farmland. That's doodles. Those are big rocks. Those are waterfalls. I'm sure there's a volcano symbol. You know what? We'll go for the playfully jagged peak. We will make it a bit larger. We'll plonk it there. And we will also bring it to the front. No, not quite to the front. Call it there. Bring that one up a little bit. There we are. That looks a little bit better. What do you want your volcano to be called, sir? That's what I'm going to need to know. No, this is Wonder Draft. And have them divide the jungle and maybe a savanna. That's an idea. That's an idea, Oldwood. Yeah, there is quite a bit of a delay, sadly. Something we're just going to have to deal with, unfortunately. I've just realized Jeffrem's message has been in the way of me doing this, so I'll move that. So this is where we're going to put the volcano. I'm going to get a little bit of grey, I think. I'm going to move the brush size down a tad. And this is going to be... Oh, no. Hello? Is this working? It's still green.
Nope.
That one. There we are. I'm just going to make... it's a bit too dark. These. Just want to try and make the mountains stand out a little bit. There we are. I feel like I should be doing sort of Bob Ross impressions while we're doing this.
Oh, you should. You should.
Let's go down here. Make brush size a little bit larger. Right, there we go. The mountains stand out a little bit. Like the colors don't matter too much. It's more though that we can tell at a glance what things are. Israel's got to go. Have a good evening, Israel. The app crashed. Oh no. Saint's Wrath. Ooh. Maybe they have ventured that far down, Mr. DJH. And I do like that idea. So we're going to get ourselves a label here. We're going to copy over. Click on that so I can get that back. We're going to call this Mount Saint. You know what? Ooh, Saint's Wrath. I do like that. I'm just going to call it Saint's Wrath. In fact,
properly spelled.
Indeed.
Lovely.
Saints.
I can see the tale. When they came across the Denzians of this place, the battle was going against them, and the mountains suddenly erupted, saving the forces and allowing them to withdraw safely. Thus, the battle lines have now been drawn, a border between the civilized forces on one side and the uncivilized masses on the other. It was only Saint's Wrath that saved them that day. Yeah, I like it.
That's a good bit of lore. Hopefully someone's taking notes. Yeah, I do like that. Saint's Wrath Mountain. And there was a battle fought against the lizard people of Oldwood's jungle. Which means we need to find, again, symbols, forests. Do I have a jungly looking forest tree?
It's all looking very palm trees, aren't you? Need big leafy things.
I just don't like the fact they're green, see?
No, the sort of like big long sort of leafy kind of.
The easiest thing to do is probably just use that. Or the willows. The willows could do.
Potentially, yeah.
Everything else is the same.
Yeah, everything's it all looks very. Yeah, not many places that remember jungles. No,
they don't. So we'll say that this here then.
The willow's actually very fitting because if it's tribes of lizard men, it would indicate the jungle being very boggy and yeah.
There we are. We don't know what the actual borders of this jungle might be. We just know that it's rather large. It's several days worth of travel through difficult terrain. So each of these 24-mile hexes are likely going to take you days upon days to get through.
Yeah.
In fact, we are going to expand a little bit further east with this content, I think, because that is what's been asked of us. Let's get some color on here. Very jungly, so I think this actually needs to be
a nice thick green.
Indeed.
A lot of happy little trees with bloodthirsty lizards.
Yeah. And I think we do need then to have a label of this land. So this is Newfoundland, which is, I think, has actually got a bit of a kingdom-like border to it now here. This sort of horn on the land. So what do we call this kingdom? It was founded by Eisen with the help of a saint coming from the north.
I'm out of ideas. Hang on. We need to have a think. Has chat come up with any brilliance?
I would be interested to see if anyone's got sort of a land of the fair-haired translation or something like that. Because these are northern men that have come down on ships to this sort of savanna area. They're not native to this place. They might have been here for a couple centuries, but they're going to be new. So the land of the fair-haired, something like that. Yes, do German again. Do German again. That would be brilliant.
Very thematic.
A lot of people listen to this as an audio thing. It's not going to work so well this week for you, I'm afraid. Spine of Ragnarok. Someone put a pin in that. I do like that name. Could have two names. One by the new settlers and 1 from the original inhabitants. That is really good world building, but I've only got so much space for labels. Yeah, I like the idea that the lizard men came through the pass up to the north, and they were fighting on the slopes of Saints Rough when your story then happened, and that's what enabled the Northerners to maintain their new kingdom. Oldwood says Nerdalia. Does that mean anything in particular, Oldwood, or is that just something that sounds cool? Because it does sound cool. Is it just because loads of nerds made this up? The kingdom of nerds.
Nerdalia.
You see, the fun thing is, if this goes well enough, I could start using this in some of the one-shots that I've been planning.
Now that sounds really very cool. Very good. Yeah.
Well, whilst Tom is doing German, I think it was also Tom that wanted 2 tribes, 1 from the east, 1 from the jungle, 1 from the savannah. They disagree on how to worship the volcano god. That is quite cool. Of course, it was him just calling us nerds.
Yeah.
Fiona means white or fair in Scottish. I like that. So we could do a play on Fiona. I do quite like that. Fager. What does Fager mean? What did you just call me? This is great because this is just outsourcing what I usually do on like Google to these guys. You know what, we've had this music going for a while. We should have something a little bit more epic for a bit. So let's go for this. This delay really does just
it does slow things down.
Yeah, it does slow things down when you actually want to talk to the chat. Settle.
We've had some good suggestions. Vega, yeah, that's not bad. Fiona, I'm trying to think Fiona Glen or something like that, but I'm not feeling it.
Oh,
Nerdalia.
Let's call it Fiona. You're not feeling that?
I don't know. It just seems a bit odd. We've landed at these new lands. We'll call it fair.
Really, it's the name that has been given to the land by the others that have found them.
Yeah, so if Fiona Terra might be the fair land.
What's that say?
Fiona Terra or something like that, the fair land.
Yeah.
So a combination of the two.
I'm not sure about using the word terra. A little Latin-y.
Yeah.
If it were more encompassing... Yes, so DJH, we're going to expand eastward, so we'll probably expand the jungle when we do. Fionnuala, Irish name meaning fair shoulder, with Fionn meaning fair or wide. And they are on the shoulder of the land, I guess. I do kind of like Fionnuala.
I quite like that too, yeah.
Fionnuala. You know what? Death Angel Shadow, Jeff. Fionnuala works for me. Unless Tom's going to come up with something very German. Nerdwith. Haha. Okay, Fionnuala it is. Right, let me get this. Do that. It is Fionnuala. And we're going to do something a little bit nice with this. We're going to go to, I think, 36. No, a bit more. Go 48. And we will get a nice little curvature there. There we go. Fionnuala. Fionnuala. We'll get there eventually. We'll learn how to pronounce these names. Like most fantasy properties, it's impossible to pronounce things at first.
Yes, until you get used to them, and then it feels so natural.
This, Dominic, is Wonderdraft. Fionn can be the shortened version of the name.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of plays on nerd and geek, Geekland.
I can't imagine why that would be.
I don't know.
Land. So we're going to we'll get the landmass going a bit further. People want us to expand east, so I am tempted to just sort of do that. For now. Obviously, we can tidy things up later. Oh, no, no. Don't want to zoom in. I'll do that. We can tidy things up as we go. It's not a big deal. Don't need to get upset about the fact that it's not pretty yet. Which means I will. I will get upset about the fact that it's not pretty yet.
No, but that looks quite nice. Bit of a jagged coast across there, looking a little bit like the shape of America.
Oh no! Quick, fix it! We want a canyon called Wormwell. Well, actually, it's funny you should say that, because we have a pass, my love. So we can actually go ahead and grab a label. We'll use the river font. And we will call this Wormwell. Wormwell Pass.
Yes. Does that mean there's dragons?
Maybe Saints Wrath houses a dragon.
It might do. Or the lizards worship dragons.
Or the lizards are the worms.
Absolutely. Oh,
looks
very
like an overweight scimitar.
Yes.
The people are called the Fion. I like that. That's a very good idea. I do like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the label tool again. Grab the Newfoundland. The lands of the people called Fion. I'm going to bring this one up slightly. Going to put a little bit of curvature on you. A little bit like that. I'm a sucker for big labels. Makes things seem more grand. Slightly there. And I say I can always tidy things up. There we are. I always find things feel a bit more biblical when you sort of phrase it in too many words.
Yes.
Right, what's chat on about now? Where are we at? So if there's anything related to smithing or crafting, Sampo might be a good name. We'll keep that in mind. This does also do square grid. Skull, yes. Lizard people who being the only people who can tame and ride wyverns, maybe from the southern part of the mountain. And that is where we get the next name. So the northern part of this mountain range can be called something else. Didn't want to do that. Let's get rid of you. Hopefully I haven't changed too much. So let's get this. And we're going to call this the Wyverntail Mountains. Whoopsie daisy. Put a bit of a curve like that. Maybe curve better like that, and then do this like so. Nice. The Wyverntail Mountains, and that's the southern part of the and that's, you know, it's just infested with wyverns down there. You don't go down there unless you want to be eaten. In fact, it's a great buy. It's still being updated. I've had it since 2019. I've never regretted it once. I do like this software a lot. I like Incarnate, but I prefer to have a program that's actually on my machine. I don't mind doing stuff in browsers. I just prefer to do it on separate programs. Maybe I'm old like that. Who knows? Tim, good evening. The lizard people have air superiority. Best invent air defense ballistas.
Absolutely.
Right. We were going to expand this jungle. So we will go ahead and continue to do that. Yeah. So maybe they hug these mountains like that.
I think that's good. It means the rain is coming in from the east. It's hitting the mountains and going up, which is why that one side of the mountains has a lot of jungle. The other side of the mountains will be a lot more barren until you head towards the coast.
So these guys will be building along said coast and not too far south. They are kind of hemmed in up there.
They're very hemmed in. I'm thinking we need a good defensive fortress to the south in that area to keep the lands above safe. And of course, by the volcano, you're going to get a lot of fertile lands, so you can potentially have it by the volcano just to the south.
This over here, I'm going to nick a name from somewhere, I think. But what we'll do is I'll quickly fill in this. Just get the jungle going. Keep the jungle going. We still need to name the jungle. I'm going to guess there's lots of disparate tribes of lizard people in here, which is why they don't just go and like unite and crush the Fion. That makes sense to me. I don't know about you.
I think that's a good approach. So you've always got the danger of one lizard rising up and uniting the tribes and...
Maybe the Fion have specialist agents of the crown that hang around in the swamp, and if one lizard looks like he's about to become a political force, they off him.
Absolutely. And those agents have formed alliances with a couple of the minor tribes, or possibly a major tribe, promising weaponry and arms in return for their loyalty.
Or not even loyalty, but just to go and hit those other lizards over the head with.
Indeed.
Constantly playing them off one another.
Yeah. So the whole political thing you could have going on.
Avocado jungle.
Avocado, jeez.
Brilliant. Right. The ancient activity of the volcano has fueled the eastern expanse with fertile soil and spread the landmass a great distance. Well, we are... I do like that idea, and the landmass has spread.
Yeah.
But is the volcano that powerful? So let's go to the symbols here then, because people say they're wanting us to have some defensive towers. Let's go ahead. Where's my symbols? There they are. So I'm not going to use the castle again. We'll use the squares.
Squares is a good fortress symbol.
Good sort of fortress symbol. So Saints Wrath Mountain. There's Wormwell. So let's say we put a fortress here.
Yep.
Yeah, which kind of marks the southern border, maybe, of...
I would agree, yeah. A couple of days, then another fortress. So if we kind of marking a southern border.
You mean over by the coast?
I
would think it wouldn't go straight across. I think the fortress would probably be further south. In fact, what I can
I was thinking that a couple of days, but a little bit more south.
What I can
so
do,
you're kind of hedging in.
If I go to paths and get this particular thing here, what color do we say the Fionola's color is? Blue? Sort of a bluey goldy color, or?
If you can do a bluey goldy, that's kind of fair.
Yeah, like a. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I will do is say... I was thinking that kind of a border for them. Make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. What would be stopping them moving the border down?
Well,
so there has to be something in that area that's stopping them. Well, you got the Wyverns, yeah, definitely on the Wyverntail Mountains.
Maybe there's a lack of water in this particular area because we are getting quite far south.
Yeah, and of course, jungle's on the one side of the mountains, so there's going to be less rainfall on the other. So yeah, that could
very arid land down here, maybe.
Very barren. Yeah.
So it's the other side. Do they go straight up to the jungle? Or do they sort of just about have Saint's Wrath there, but then they try and give the lizardmen as much free reign as they can? Kind of like
that. I would say so, because the jungle's not going to have an immense resource value. And with it being boggy and disease-ridden, they probably want to keep a wide berth. from it.
They do want access to both sides of the mountain range for Saint's Wrath Mountain.
Absolutely.
What does chat think? Don't know about you guys, but I'm already imagining the trade routes west of the mountain and down. Very true. I'm actually imagining trade routes sort of to more northern areas as well, where they came from. No, the sky is full of scalies, says Tom. Very much so. A head-shaped jungle. I guess it does look a little bit like a head in profile, doesn't it? Beyond the Black River. I'm not familiar. Are you familiar with Beyond the Black River?
No, I'm not.
We've already been doing this for an hour, by the way.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing that once you start world building in this kind of manner, like I was dead when I started this stream. And now here I am, world building, like, oh, okay, now we can do this and do that and do this. And you just sort of get to the gears working. Do they need the wood? And that is what is keeping a tentative peace. Would there be trade with the lizardmen? Because Oldwood actually brings up a very valid point here. What are they doing for wood? These are seamen.
I agree, but when you're talking a boggy jungle, how usable is that wood going to be, and how retrievable is it going to be? It's going to be something very difficult. There's nothing stopping having, especially on the eastern side of the mountains, you can have some forests sort of across the top and then down the one side. And that could be the source of woods. It's not too far from Newfoundland, which is one of the reasons why that site was chosen. You got water, you got wood, you got the mountains for stone and iron. You got everything you need.
So let's not make these massive. So let's say we've got just a small amount of trees here. Yeah. Especially in the north.
Yes.
Where it's a little bit more temperate.
Yeah.
And maybe a slight amount of trees.
But not much in there, but yes. So they've got some great resources up there to establish themselves.
They can obviously, humans have been managing forests for millennia, so these guys at least know how to make it sustainable.
Absolutely.
They've got one main city.
The real value of why they're settling here is probably some of the rarer metals within those mountains.
Indeed.
So we're going to have some mining settlements that have to be guarded.
We actually require. Again, we've gotten completely off kilter. We need a name for the jungle, which I'm going to leave to chat. A name for these northern mountains as well. Which is difficult now that we've gone for sort of this. We've got a mix of Irish, German, and Saxon languages up here.
Yeah, we have.
If I was doing this on my own, I would probably homogenize those languages a little bit more.
We all want
the water from the peaks of the nearby mountains feed into a river that runs a meandering gauntlet through the mountains towards Newfoundland. We do have Saints River up there, which could actually have its source deeper and more south in the mountain range. DJH. Guns N' Roses jungle. I wonder what that guy likes.
Yeah.
These mountains. What do we call these mountains? You know what? I'm going to call them the... Let's call them the Crystal Spires. For now. Placeholder name. The jungle still doesn't have a name, guys. Need a good name for the jungle. Abacant? I feel like Oldwood might be having us on again there. Google that word. Make sure it's not a slur or something. Oh, Google's going very slow for me. Doesn't like the fact that I'm streaming. Abacant means nothing.
I think we're safe.
I think we might be safe. Could possibly mean something in Turkish. Okay, so we're going to call this the Abacant Jungle. Ooh, there is actually still a glitch within this program, which every now and again stops you from being able to drag labels around. There we go. So this is the Abacant Swampy Swampington. Thanks, Tim. Abacant Jungle. Home to the tribes. Well, we're gonna fucking put that down to 12. Home to the tribes of lizard folk that ride the skies. There we are. That tells us a little bit about it as well, so we don't forget that these lizard people ride wyverns.
Yep.
Abdicant. Is that because they abdicated? Yeah, it was. I called it. Big spiders in there, maybe.
I like Abacant. Abacant Jungle.
Home to the tribes of the Abacant, yes.
Yeah.
Before we continue over here, because we spent a lot of time, we spent an entire hour just on this little spit of land when I made this gigantic canvas for us. You see this over here?
They look very nice.
I reckon... You just bear with me a moment. No, I want this. That's what I want. I'm going to go with a dice hit. We'll start down here. There we are. I'm going to go for that. That.
Oh, it's a bit of a delta.
Indeed. It's going to just make this a little bit thicker.
Need some icebergs.
Well, we're a bit far south for that.
It does.
And what I'm going to put here is something that I always like doing. Go for the text. We're going to go for this. And we're going to call this... oh, thank you, my love. We're going to call this... what was the actual name they used? It was that, wasn't it? So we'll sort of have a play on that. We'll go for... Tepmet. There we are. The land of Tepmet. It's Egypt. We made ancient Egypt.
You have.
Which kind of makes me want to drag this off screen.
So it becomes a bigger, yeah.
A bigger part, you know, it's a smaller part of a bigger whole. And then we have, yeah, I think I am just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make the executive decision.
I think that's a good decision there.
So we'll have that sort of curve in that way, and that curve out that way. Make that brush larger. And then we can see that the mountains give way. Perhaps we have the mountains curve around a little bit this way. So to keep the jungle making sense. That one there. So as the mountains do that, they are guarding... There we are. They can guard the jungle from what will likely be very hot weather, desert-y stuff down here. And then we can go around this way and make them med. Because, you know, every good fantasy map is
based on Earth. Yeah.
is based on Earth. Now, you bring a very good point up there, Brass, and if you were in the stream like you were invited to be, perhaps you could have put Harrowhaven in somewhere. But it's not. It sounds Egyptian because the Egyptian name for Egypt, the ancient Egyptian name for Egypt, I think was not Khemri. Khemri is the Tomb King's name for Egypt from Warhammer Fantasy. It's gone completely. It was Kemet, I think, maybe. I honestly can't remember. It was in my head. Ooh, label sounds fancy.
Yeah, Kemet.
Hey, it's the Schmibs in the chat. The Rivers of Mist. I like that.
Kemet, you are right.
Kemet, yes, there you go. I know things. I drink and I know things. I don't even... Well, I drink tea, I suppose. So I'm going to have that do this a little bit. There we are. Any cool ideas coming out of chat? Or are they tapped for the night?
There is chosen to trade with people. Yep. Ooh. I like that. They're flaky, apparently.
Chat's flaky? I knew it.
Could be. And we got to have a Shire equivalent. I think that's.
I mean, we're a little bit in the wrong part of the world.
I think when we look northwards at where the Kemetians came from, not Kemetians, sorry, the Fionians came from, we'll be able to, definitely have some sort of Shire lands and stuff like that here. But these lands are full of incredible resources, but also savagely dangerous with large creatures.
Indeed they
Kemet
are.
the frog.
Brilliant. The river needs a source. That's the point of the Nile. It's a mystery.
I don't know. I think you can trace it back to Lake Victoria.
Yeah, but that was only done after thousands of years of people relying on the Nile for everything.
Yeah, and even then it goes.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you haven't, you should probably go and click on Sir Schmib in the chat there and go and subscribe to him. Good dude. He's younger than me, and yet he's now completed Arena, which I find embarrassing on my part. Thank you, my love, Miss T Fairy. How's the boy? He's doing good. We had a bit of a Looney Tunes moment. Was it yesterday? Where I poked him?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, last night I could see... For those of you new here, there's a few of you, my wife is currently pregnant with a boy, and we could see the boy sort of in a part of her belly, like he was obviously had his back pressed up to her. So I gave him a bit of a poke, and I put my head down to a belly like that, and immediately I got kicked hard. It was very funny. Lizard folk could have a wide variety of... Yeah, there are indeed subtypes. We have given them home to the tribes of lizard folk that ride the skies. In fact, I agree that we need a source for our River Nile, which we haven't actually called yet. So what I'm going to do... There you go. It goes all the way down there. We don't know where it comes from. But maybe we'll have a minor river, size 7 maybe, that actually splits from it. Kind of like this. And vanishes somewhere into here, for it is then reappearing over there. I like that. I think I like that quite a bit. What does chat think is the question? $5 reduce, thank you, sir. Oh, cheers, Solid Snack. Thank you very much, Paladin Steve. I think I might have already done that, but I was supposed to put it on screen and didn't. Well, Tom, you seem like you're very much into the world building, so hopefully you've clicked that subscribe button. Because I think we'll do some more of this on another stream as well, but we are we are starting to run slightly long, and Dean is very old and requires
yes,
bedtime.
you're right. You're right. I am.
It's not me making an excuse for the fact that I'm
No.
Lake Victoria. You know what, Surly? You've had some great ideas. This is not one of them. We haven't made the entire continent. It's left to interpretation until a sequel is made.
Yes.
Brilliant. Great Plains in the center there. Land would have to be low for the river. Well, that is actually a good thing to do, Schmib, Morgan Jensen. If anyone gets that reference, you've been on the internet for too long. So we're actually going to put this, the lowlands. Yeah. I'm going to make the curvature like that, I think. Because it's south, you see, and also it's low.
Going into a jungle basin.
Indeed.
Mm.
In fact, maybe I should have that there. And maybe slightly less curvature. And then over here, we can call this the narrow expanse, because it is hot and arid, and it's kind of narrow geographically.
Yeah, the river comes away from the main river and then heads into the jungle, and from the jungle onto the coast to the north. So the coast to the north is where you won't be drinking from that river.
Indeed,
but
the river is coming from the
feeds
south.
the jungle. Yeah,
indeed. And we'll likely have sort of a Sinai area here going into a Gaza, Palestine, Israel area here, and then come round and we'll make an enclosed basin here.
Yeah.
I do like my Mediterranean ripoffs. In fact, what I will do is we'll stop here, but before we end, we'll go for a little bit longer. But oh, look, you're down there now, Dean.
I am.
Yeah.
I feel so small. Ah, that's better.
That's low-hanging fruit. I'm not going for that joke. Heads into the jungle. Yes, the jungle looks like a head. Yes. I'm going to... I don't really... It's been a while since I've shown something like this off. Because last time I had to be spoken to by the nice people down at the police station. That's a funny joke. Laugh, please.
Okay. I'm quite shocked.
I can... Where is it? Westling, Morvar. Where is it? Here we go.
No. The water doesn't flow anywhere near the mountains. It flows down into the jungle basin, and then from the jungle basin to the coast. The mountains themselves provide a barrier to the west of that jungle basin.
Right. So to give people an idea, I am gonna put a little bit nicer music on now. We've had this on for a while. You know what? I've not done one of those. Not done this one in a little while. This is the old intro music. Right. Just to give you guys an idea of what Wonder Draft can do, this is something I made a while ago. It's maybe a little bit outdated now. This is my own personal world. I've run games in this world. I write in this world. This is Varfal. Got all its own lore, etc., etc. This is a massive map. It's very zoomed out. There's very little detail. This is mostly just so I understand where things are. And just to show you how much I love my Mediterranean ripoffs. There's the Cradled Sea. But yeah, this is the sort of thing you can do with this program. And you can get really granular, really go right down into it and have all these different places. For sense of scale, this is Torvavan. You can see that it basically looks like the United Kingdom on its side. That's because it is.
Yeah.
If I go to my overlay here and use my measuring tool, that is about 880 odd miles, which is about the size of the UK. which gives you a great sense of scale, because that's the United Kingdom. You've got sort of a fancy-sized area here. You go down, you've got some more of a, it's a big map. It's a very big map, and obviously I have no idea what goes on over this way because I focus pretty much entirely on a different area. In fact, one thing that I have shared more of is this, which I've shared on stream before. Well, not on stream before, but on X/Twitter before. This is Wonderdraft, Sushmib. This is, if you wanted to do something a little bit more traditional, a little bit more presentable, then you can also do this kind of thing. Where is it? There it is. This is actually something that I designed to maybe be sort of on the inside of a book cover. This is an A5 piece of paper with a map. This is a map of the lands of the Westling, the Vales of Folin, the edges of the Imperial Torvavan. And you've got a bit more detail, like you've got the different region names, more town stuff. And look, there's Harrowhaven Brass, since you were asking. Obviously, I've spent a lot more time on making this look a bit more uniform. It's just, you can do all sorts of stuff with this program. It's very handy, and I do highly recommend it. It's not on Steam. I got my copy on Humble Bundle. In fact, what I can probably do, I'm not sponsored by them. Maybe I should be after this. It is obviously paid software. But here is the website. I'll put this in chat for you. The Wheel of Time. You see, whenever someone says the Wheel of Time, I just think of the Blind Guardian song. There you go. There's the website. In fact, Jeffrem's just said they've got a website. I've linked it just above where he said that. What's more mind-boggling is the amount of accents on that relatively tiny, fair island. Yep. My grandfather still uses Middle English because he's from an area that still uses very close to Elizabethan/Middle English. There is a small area near Chester, which still uses an older version of English than that, which is incredible to me. That this part of the language has lasted as long as it has. Right. I've had quite a bit of fun with this one.
I think we got a good start there.
Yeah, good start. I think we'll
good
come
bit of
back
history.
to this.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll do is I will maybe take a screenshot of where we're at, and I'll post it as a post. And then successive streams, we can see where we've started, where we've come from, and where we get to. I think this could be fun because we've got different people that turn up to these streams on a weekly basis, so it could be really interesting to find out how it evolves based on who's in.
Yeah.
Well, Oldwood's close to Chester. That's why he can barely speak English. Hey! I got him back for calling me a nerd. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jeffrem. I really enjoyed it as well. Before I get to plug in Dean here, I do want to go ahead and say, if you enjoy this sort of thing, this sort of world building, this sort of having a chat about fantasy, just loving the genre, building things within the genre, and you'd like to experience a community that is dedicated to crafting worlds, crafting games, and understanding where the genre has come from, the new Inkguard tier might be for you. It's a channel membership tier. It is, I will say now, it is a little pricey, but for that, it is for the reason for that is, one, I need to feed people, and two, I find that if people are willing to pay a certain price, it means that that group is going to be more elite. It means that you're going to get people who are going to take it seriously when we want to do things like this, or do more book clubby stuff. And the sessions I'm planning will be hours long rather than just an hour or 2 hours. I'm thinking we sit down, we have very in-depth, detailed discussions on literature, on games, and all the rest of it. I'm quite looking forward to starting that up. There is obviously no compulsion, but it is on offer for those of you that would enjoy such a thing. Dean, sir.
Yes.
You're making a game.
I am making a game. And we've done the adventure. It's going into editing. So we're on target. If you go to our website, we've got a clock countdown. When the adventure will be released, it has pre-gened characters, but it gives you an opportunity to play Untold Destiny without getting too overwhelmed with a lot of the options we have within the game. So you can get right into the meat of it, pick up some characters, and immediately jump into an adventure. And then later on, we're planning to release a kind of taster set for you to create your own characters and have a real play with the system. And
look at this.
I know. Vicky worked very hard putting that together.
The countdown.
There's the countdown.
This has come a long way. Look at all this.
Yeah. And we got lots. We got collaborative corner. So Jack, I believe you're on collaboration corner. Oh, there you are.
Oh, there I am. first spot too. Look at that.
Yeah, but a lot of the people we've been working with, and we continue to work with a lot more people on our indie game spotlight interviews, which are going down a storm at the moment.
Great. No, I'm very, very glad this is going well. Here is the website, guys. Do give that a click. Do bookmark it. Sign up to the newsletter.
Yep, and if you can follow us on YouTube as well, we got shorts going out on character creation, which is a 10-short series. I'm then going to collapse them together to create a longer version for those who've got a longer concentration span.
Oh, man. If there's anything I've learned after releasing my little bit on Expedition 33, is that people they don't have an attention span, because I can see the analytics. And two, they comment their comment before they know what the video's about. Because I can see the analytics. So, she's putting that out there. When you have a go at a YouTuber, they can sort of guess how smart you are based on when you've commented. Right. Well, no, thank you very much for hanging out with me while we did this, man. That was fun.
Oh, you're welcome. I thoroughly enjoyed that. We must do this again.
We will do this again. Perhaps we can drag Brass out of his basement when we do.
That would be good.
Indeed.
We need that voice to bring us back down to earth.
Let me go ahead and just make sure that we don't both get teleported onto the outro screen by accident. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining. It has been my utmost pleasure to once more host the Talking in the Library series for you all. Do please subscribe and like the stream, and if you haven't yet, do give a comment separately to the chat once this is done, because it does help me in the algorithm. Good night, Dean, and good night, chat.
Good night.